Did you know that the Dallas Mavericks are considered as the frontrunners to acquire Draymond Green if the Golden State Warriors decided to trade him? Well, he'd be a great fit for them, but I can't see the Warriors trading Dre. You know,
to pick a number, the answer is to help Draymond and give him the help he needs, give him an opportunity to make a change that will not only help him, help our team, but help him for the rest of his life.
They keep framing it as he needs help so that people can feel sorry for him. But it's hard to sympathize with someone who's kicking nuts, putting a fingerprint on someone's eye, moonwalking on someone's chest, punching his own teammate, and went all out slapping an opponent just for grabbing his jersey.
Dre, what are you doing, man? You're too important. You're too good. This is getting to a space, man, where like you're hurting the game. This is bad for the game of basketball. What you are doing is bad for the game of basketball. And you are good for the game of basketball. But what you're doing, my brother, is bad for the game.
And even after losing millions of dollars, Draymond kept on with his antics until he was placed on an indefinite suspension. And honestly, he probably should have gotten a longer timeout to cool off. Because, come on, Dre, what kind of contract did you sign? Forever UFC?
As you know, I'm not one to apologize for things I meant to do, but I do apologize to you, sir. Because I didn't intend to hit him.
You see, it's a time of change for the Warriors. Bob Myers is gone. Steve Kerr is in the final year of his contract, and so is Klay Thompson. Amidst all this, Kerr benched Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Looney during a crucial game against the Suns. He didn't even start Wiggins and Looney in the second half. Kerr is clearly trying to shake things up, giving the young guns a shot, and desperately trying to stitch the season together to save what's left of this dynasty. And all this is in a game where they really needed Draymond, especially against the Suns and with Kevin Durant out. It was Bradley Beal's first game back too, but in the end, everything just fell apart.
It's about helping Draymond. I think it's an opportunity for Draymond to step away and to make a change in his approach, in his life.
Okay, maybe Dre needs help, but keeping him on the court is not a great idea until he's ready to make some changes. Remember his last suspension? He was all, "I'ma be me," but the league clapped back with a big nope.
Trying to help that guy, because the one who grabbed Rudy, choked Rudy, the one who took a wild flail at Yusuf, the one who punched Jordan last year, that's the guy who has to change. And he knows that.
Nope. See, if you're going to be that kind of you, Dre, you do not belong to the league, man. So please, sign a contract with Dana White. All kidding aside, being a pro player isn't just about you, Dre. It's about respecting your teammates and opponents too. No one should have to worry about getting kicked, slapped, or choked on the job. We all know the drill. If your mother can't discipline you, the father should step up. That's why the league's stepping in. Let's face it, the Warriors haven't been great at handling Draymond. Back to his punch with Jordan Poole. His fist is so powerful to the point that Poole's career can't get over it. But seriously, the Warriors didn't bench Dre because of that. 0 games. Draymond did take a break on his own though. He made that documentary on TNT with his kids in it for us to feel sorry for him. But has he really changed? Heck no.
All of us is, I'm going to be me, no matter what, and that's not going to change.
Since then, he's been suspended 4 times. 4 freaking times! And the Warriors don't even have their first round pick. It's off to Portland, unless it's top 4. So their best bet is to tank hard and become a bottom 4 team by season's end. And looking at the league, the Pistons are struggling at 2 wins and 22 losses. The Spurs and Wizards are in the mix for that number 1 pick too. But the Warriors, with their 11 wins, aren't too far from being the 4th worst team in the league. Now, Golden State had the greatest shooter God ever created. Yet they're just going into that route? Is that all they can do? Well, the Warriors can't do anything about it. If Draymond gets benched for, say, 20 games or so, the Warriors' playoff dreams are pretty much toast. They're thinking of putting Jonathan Kuminga in his spot. Okay, I have nothing against JK, he's cool and all, but he's no Draymond. Dre's the guy who amps up everything Steph does, with top-notch defense and communication skills. Yes, Kuminga's had his moments, sure, but he's not Mr. Consistent yet. However, Dre is just a piece of the big problem of the Warriors. Because, again, for the first time ever, Klay Thompson found himself benched at the end of a nail-biter game. He missed 8 out of 10 shots and 7 out of 8 three-pointers. Coach Kerr decided to give the young guns, including Steph and Dario Saric, a chance to shine instead. That had to be a tough pill for Klay to swallow. But hey, that's NBA life for you. You can get booed, benched, injured. It's all part of the game. And in professional basketball, no one's immune to being benched. Not even a player who's destined for a statue outside Chase Center. Furthermore, when it comes to his contract, Shams Charania reported that the Warriors offered Klay a 2-year, $48 million deal before the season. But now, that deal is off the table. I know, some of you there are saying, Klay Thompson is not worth $20 million a year anymore. He's barely worth $12 million at the clip he's playing at. There's nobody in their right mind going to give up any pieces for him. But listen closely. Klay's major injuries to both legs took away a chunk of what made him so special in his prime. Remember the Klay who could zip around defenders and create just enough space to sink those beautiful shots? Well, those days have been harder to come by since his explosiveness took a hit.
Extraordinarily well. And Barbosa got 23 and a half. Klay Thompson sets his feet. Klay Thompson.
This kind of change messes with the player's confidence. Klay's out there trying his hardest to shoot his way back into form. But when your body doesn't respond like it used to, it leads to some not so great choices on the court. Now, a change of scenery could do wonders for Klay. A fresh start to a new team? It could be just what he needs to reignite that spark. But it's not likely to happen by the trade deadline. The Warriors are not seeing the kind of offers they think Klay deserves. So it looks like he'll have to ride out this season and see what opportunities come knocking once it's over. And here's what Kendrick Perkins said about Klay's problem.
This goes on, LeBron James. When something was bothering them in their personal life, we did not get the best performance out of them. Until they got it cleared up, until whatever they was going through, we did not get the best version of them.
Surprisingly, no one's really talking about Andrew Wiggins, whose performance has also been, well, less than stellar. The Ringer's latest NBA player rankings have Wiggins dropping from 50th to 80th, below players like Austin Reeves and Kyle Kuzma, and just a notch above Dylan Brooks. How did Wiggins go from a defensive hero against Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum in the championship to this slump? Let's rewind to his Minnesota days. Drafted number 1 in 2014 over Joel Embiid, Wiggins had a promising start, even bagging the Rookie of the Year title with casual 30-point games. But his defense was lacking, and his scoring didn't translate to wins.
Wiggins.
Fans started turning on him, especially as his defense became a popular topic for YouTube critics. But still, the Warriors traded D'Angelo Russell for him. And when the pandemic shut us down, the trade started to make some sense. Steve Kerr said to Wiggins, "Look, you're 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan. It's crazy you're not a top defender." So Wiggins took these words to heart, and he flipped the script. He got fired up, maybe for the first time in his career. People on social media started calling him two-way Wiggs, and he even made it to his first All-Star game as a starter. The big change for Wiggins was moving from the spotlight in Minnesota to being a key role player in Golden State. Without the pressure of being the main guy, he could shine as an elite 3 and D player. But then, something shifted last year. Wiggins missed the last 23 games due to a family crisis. And since then, things haven't been the same. The Warriors would be happy with him scoring 20 points a night, even with weak defense. But now, he's struggling with the basics, even with dribbling. Kerr noticed something was off at the beginning of the season, mentioning that Wiggins came into camp out of shape. Whatever he's going through with his family seems to have hit him hard, bringing back that unmotivated vibe. And again, don't make me play what Kendrick Perkins said for us to understand his situation. Wiggins seriously needs a reset button, a way to find his fire again. But will the fire of the Warriors dynasty come back again? Well, we're just barely scratching the surface here, because the Draymond drama, as well as Klay and Wiggins' confidence, has much more weight than anyone else thought. And to know more about it, click this video right here before Dre punches you in the face or kicks your nuts.